Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, Miss.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
In today's lesson, we will learn about metamorphosis, especially metamorphosis for insect. Before we begin our lesson, let's pray together. Pray begin. Enough. Now I will check your attendance. Please answer with "Here, Miss," after I call you. First, Yainun.
Here, Miss.
Second, Halim.
Here, Miss.
And third, Raras.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Now there is a text. I will read it for you. And after this, there's some question you need to answer. The title of the story is all about bugs. Hi, I'm Kai. My friend Marcus and I are looking for bugs. Marcus wants to find a spider. I hope we find a butterfly. Want to come on a bug hunt with us? Look, I see a bug on that flower. It's red and has a black circle. It's LadyBug. Marcus got down on the ground and spotted some ants. There are so many of them. Do you hear that buzzing sound? I hear a bee. Look, it's flying to the flower for some food. We're going to stay back so we don't get stung. Marcus is happy. We found his favorite kind of bug, a spider. Marcus found his favorite bug, but I still haven't found my favorite. There's my favorite bug. Look at that beautiful butterfly. Now our bug hunt is done for today. Maybe tomorrow we'll look for a dragonfly. No, there is some question down below. Is anyone want to answer the first question?
Me.
Yes, Ainun.
Uh, how many books they find? That is 5. Five, Miss.
Yes, that's right. Can you name it?
There is a ladybug, ants, bee, spider, and butterfly.
Correct. And then the second question, is anyone want to answer?
Me.
Yes, Raras?
Characteristic of ladybug has red and black circle pattern in their back.
Correct. Now move to the next slide. So there is a video. We will watch this first and then I will give you some description.
Metamorphosis sounds familiar. All livings undergone growth and changes through their life as what life cycle is all about. In the science of life, the striking change of form or structure in an individual after hatching or birth is what we call metamorphosis. So in this video, we will distinguish between complete and incomplete metamorphosis. Some animals don't look like their parents as they grow. They completely change. This is called metamorphosis. These physical changes, as well as those involving growth and differentiation, are accompanied by alterations of the organism's physiology, biochemistry, and behavior. Insects and amphibians are animals that go through metamorphosis. Well, among the most dramatic and thoroughly studied examples of metamorphosis are the insects. Why? Because development is not the same in all insects, and it is convenient to group them into major categories according to the pattern of structural changes. Number 1. Complete metamorphosis. During a complete metamorphosis, an animal will go through 4 different stages in its life cycle. Example, a ladybug. The first stage is eggs. An adult ladybug lays eggs on a leaf. Then, followed by the second stage, larva. A ladybug larva hatches from each egg. The larva looks different from the adult. Then, the third stage is what we call pupa. The larva becomes a pupa. During this stage, it doesn't move as it slowly changes to an adult. And finally, the grown adult. The adult ladybug emerges from the pupa. The adult can fly and reproduce, and that commences our life cycle of a ladybug. To recapitulate the 4 stages, you have to remember the eggs, larva, pupa, and adult. Number 2. Incomplete metamorphosis. Some insects like dragonflies, grasshoppers, and cicadas go through an incomplete metamorphosis. After hatching, these insects will look like their parents. They will go through changes as they grow, but the way that they look will not change much. Why? Because the development during an incomplete metamorphosis, an animal will go through 3 different stages in its life cycle. Example, the grasshopper. The first stage started with the eggs. An adult grasshopper lays its eggs, then followed by the stage 2, which we called nymphs. Young grasshoppers called nymphs hatch from eggs. They look like adult grasshoppers, except they don't have wings yet. As the nymph grows, it sheds its skin several times before it becomes a fully grown adult. Each time, its wings become bigger. Then, finally, the final shedding produces an adult grasshopper. To recap the 3 stages, these are egg, nymph, and adult.
So from the video, we can conclude that metamorphoses are animals completely change as they grow. And on the metamorphosis, there is complete and incomplete metamorphosis. The difference between them, complete metamorphosis have 4 steps, and incomplete metamorphosis have 3 steps. Next, there is free picture about insect. You guys can choose one of them and then explain the life cycle and what type of metamorphosis they are. Number 1, butterfly. Is anyone want to explain the life cycle of butterfly?
Me.
Yes, Ainun.
Butterfly from egg to caterpillar or larva, and then change to pupa, and the pupa become a beautiful butterfly. It's a perfect metamorphosis because it has 4 steps.
That's correct. And then number 2 is honeybee. Anyone want to explain about honeybee?
Me.
Yes, Halim.
The life cycle of honeybee is similar with butterfly, from egg change to larva and then pupa. After that comes a honeybee. Thank you.
Correct. And then the last is grasshopper. Is anyone want to explain about grasshopper?
Me.
Yes, Raras.
A grasshopper, it only has 3 steps, so it's incomplete metamorphosis. The process are from egg, go might or young grasshopper and then become an adult grasshopper. Thank you, Miss.
Correct. And then this is the answer of butterfly, and don't answer it correctly. From eggs to larva, and then become a pupa and but butterfly. And after that is honeybee. Halim also answer it correctly. From egg, larva, pupa, and become an adult honeybee. And the last is grasshopper. Ranas also answer it correctly. From egg to nymph or young grasshopper and then become adult grasshopper. And last is conclusion. Metamorphosis happen when animals completely change as they grow. It is usually happen to bugs or insects. There is two types of metamorphosis. Number one is complete metamorphosis. It's happen when the animal changes to four steps, and each step shows different features. For example, is butterfly and ladybug. Incomplete metamorphosis, it's happen when the animal changes to three steps. Example is grasshopper. I think that's it for today's lesson. Give you guys an applause because you guys doing this very great. Don't forget to practice by yourself at home and let's pray together to end this discussion. Enough. Thank you guys. See you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you, Miss. See you next
Thank you, Miss. See
time.
you next time.
Next time.